Greetings to the class of 2011, faculty, and friends and family members. I really am honored to stand before you on this day when my classmates and I graduate from the Doctor of Physical Therapy program at Emory University. From here, we part ways, going all over the country. Some for residency programs, others for that job they have been eyeing for the past 3 months, or maybe 3 years, or maybe even 20 years. After this long road of education, for what feels like most of our lives, we must stop for a moment to give credit where a lot of credit is due. To the friends and family, right behind the class. Just like they have been all of our lives, supporting us and believing in us. I think I speak for the whole class when I say thank you. I remember when I was trying to decide where I was going to apply to PT school. I knew Emory was a great choice since it was ranked in the top 10 schools of the country. Top 10 PT programs, excuse me. But I felt it important to ask students already in the program what they thought about Emory. They didn't mention the incredible facilities or the great reputation. They firmly declared that the faculty is what makes the program so successful. And we are all now witnesses of this. From the administrative assistants to the director of the program, they are there for you every step of the way to help you to exceed excellence and become the best clinicians we can be. The faculty has exemplified a passion for the material they teach, and they should be commended for all the time and effort put into our education. We feel confident and prepared for our professional career, so from the entire class, wholeheartedly, thank you. I guess there are some other people in here who should be recognized for their performance. The class of 2011 was not just any class. You were a special class with brilliant minds and remarkable work ethics that inspired me daily. The tough thing about Emory is that students come from all over the country. And I imagine that means that they will disseminate all over the country after we graduate, or a few years after. Well, regardless of what happens, I know that our goodbyes will only be for so long, because I would say that we have bonded over the past 3 years. Speaking for myself, I have immensely enjoyed close to every minute of it. And I want to thank all of you for the ride. We've come a long way. We were unsure if we would make it at times, but we did. As I said, family members deserve some real recognition for putting up with us. Many hours of studying late into the night. Some more than others. Because they really wanted to know the material well. Many hours taking tests. And always needing the maximum amount of time given. Maybe that was mainly me. For those of you who don't know, I'm a pretty slow tester. It's trademarks like that we're going to miss about each other. Taylor's technological skill, Michael's extermination ability, but more so his Bruce Lee jokes. Kwane and her boo. And all the other boos out there. So I'm not sure if I ever became a boo of anyone, but I won't take offense at all. And I'm sure my wife doesn't either. Some people, left to be unnamed, falling asleep during class. John flat out telling a professor that he is bored during class. The rivaling pace of talking between Misa and Q. The sheer size of Tyler's arm. There were a few romances in class. The one presumed couple was apparently not a couple. There were also events that will long be remembered, such as Frisbee and football in the courtyard during lunch, which I think sustained a few injuries along the way, but we were able to treat those. And that's no problem. Of course, some guys would work up a sweat in our button-downs and khakis playing wall ball in the School of Medicine during 10-minute class breaks. A couple of our Bahrainian friends randomly turning around and take pictures of us during class. Local Luna visits, intramural successes, and close to successes, and other ones that were just all-out failures. Wardrobe malfunctions, table malfunctions, presentations that were supposed to contain the word perineurium, which is an outer covering of the nerve sheath, but actually contained the word perineum, which is, for those of you who don't know, is a very private area. Frank, how many times did you say that during the presentation? Faculty provided some comic relief as well. Not always at the time, but looking back on it is fun. For example, free CRM 101 class, not really feeling like losing 25 years of development. Zohair's inability to pronounce TH and B sounds, and resorting to a Mr. T voice recorder to quit our jibber jabber in the cadaver lab. Bruce's stellar draping technique, Marie's and Nyberg's intimidating looks, which make you feel like you're pretty incompetent. Classic guest lectures. Not having any idea what Vijay was talking about. And of course, research meetings filled with good news within every meeting. The list goes on. The point is, we've been through a lot together. And we have been there for each other. Through deaths, engagements, marriages, home purchases, and a pregnancy. Yes, congratulations, phone calls. And anyone else who hasn't broken the news yet. Would you like to tell me now so I can take a good time to tell everyone? What's that? No. I don't think so. I'm ecstatic about our profession. I really am. And I hope all of you are too, since we just spent 9 grueling semesters of our lives and quite a few dollars along the way. For 8 to 9 years, there will be a shortage of PTs, so we certainly picked the right time to find a job. It just so happens that in 8 to 9 years, Vision 2020 should also be in full force. For those of you who don't know, we as physical therapists will hopefully have direct access by then where the patients do not have to be referred from anyone else before we evaluate and treat them. Whether that is accepted by law and insurance or not, I'm standing here before you today, fully confident, saying that any single person in this 2011 class is able to assess, diagnose, and treat any patient that comes before them. Of course, sometimes there may be a referral out to a correct specialist if it's not a musculoskeletal issue. Now, if any of you students fidgeted in your seats a little bit uncomfortably after I said that, you have to think about all that we have learned and been through. Your confidence should already be high because Emory University picked you out of the hundreds of applications that they received. And that was a few years ago, so think about how much you've learned. You now know the physiology behind everything. Thanks, Pat. The pharmacology. Thanks, Pat. The practicals on actors, then the clinicals on real people. All the articles, the textbooks, not to mention the prerequisites before PT school. We may not have seen everything at this point, but our foundation of knowledge is extensive. Sure, we will be mentored along the way, and we will never pretend to know something that we don't. But when we don't know what the heck's going on with the patient, the beautiful thing is now we have the tools and ability to find the impairments and treat the problems as we see them. Then after each session, we can do the necessary research. Remember that commencement is far from the end of our education, as everyone's been saying. I think we can all agree that physical therapists learn for their entire careers. Finally, I believe our success rate will be pretty high. At the same time, we shouldn't get down if something doesn't work out exactly as we planned. Each patient we see will be put into our lives for a reason. They are put in front of us for a grand reason. I encourage each and every one of you to figure out that reason, why they were put in front of you. It may just be to fix their physical ailment. Maybe it is to give the infamous empathy that was consistently drilled into us by Tillman. But maybe something more. Don't feel like you need to do too much, but let's bring a sense of optimism and put a spark of energy, light, and maybe even some truth into these people's lives. Let's set them in motion, to use an APTA campaign, but in more ways than just that one. I'm going to miss all of you, I really am. It's easy to be bummed that we're not going to spend as much time together with the friends that we have made. But let's hold on to the good memories by appreciating the number and quality of relationships we formed in the process. And on that note, let's be intentional about keeping in touch, be it to get advice from a colleague about a patient, or just calling to catch up. My time is up now, as it is for all of you SPTs. So let's go drop that S and add a D for doctor. I'll always be proud to say that I'm an Emory DPT alum, in large part because you were my classmates. So thank you. So let's go out there and set them in motion in as many ways as we can. Congratulations once again.